Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode with Ralph. Hope you're fine. Well, today we're going to talk about IELTS Writing Task 1, and we will analyze a sample band 9 question and its process. And, let's take a look at this process diagram here. As you can see, now this is a very famous, and actually popular one. You may have seen this a lot in different books. And this process diagram is unnumbered. So what do I mean by numbered and unnumbered? Well, in some process diagrams, there are the number of stages written. So you know each stage from the first stage up to the maybe 3 or the third or fourth, let's say, stage. But here, this process is unnumbered. There are no numbers indicating for example, the first, the second, or the third stage, right? So this kind of process is unnumbered. So what we do all the time is start reading the question carefully, and let's see what this process is about, and then we'll start from the very beginning up to the end. The diagrams below show the stages and equipment used in the cement making process and how cement is used to produce concrete for building purposes. All right, so there are two diagrams here. The first one is the production of cement, and then how this cement is used to produce concrete. So we are going to have 4 paragraphs in this report. The first one is going to be our introduction. The second paragraph is going to be our overview paragraph, in which we are going to talk about the main features of this diagram. And then we're going to write about cement production in the first detailed paragraph and concrete production in the second detailed paragraph. So there are going to be 4 paragraphs in this report. All right, we start by writing our introduction, or intro, which is let's say, restatement or paraphrasing the question itself. It's pretty easy. What we do is use some synonym words or changing the word order. All right, in writing our introduction paragraph, we read the question carefully, very carefully, all right? The diagrams below show, so we can change the word show, right? The stages and equipment used in the cement making process and how cement is used to produce concrete for building purposes. Instead of the diagrams, we can write the 2 representations, all right? The 2 representations below. So we can omit below. There's no need to use below here. Show. Instead of show, we can write illustrate. Illustrate. And then instead of stages, we can write steps. All right? Stages, steps. Equipment. Instead of equipment, we can write tools. And instead of used, we can write required. All right? And in the cement making process, we can write for producing cement. And instead of how cement is used to produce, we can write converting it into. And instead of building purposes, we can write construction needs. Now, let's come up with our introduction. The 2 representations illustrate the steps and tools required for producing cement and converting it into concrete for construction needs. This is a very well-structured and well-organized introduction paragraph. Now it's time to write our overview paragraph. And remember something, that the overview paragraph should not include any specific or numeric details. It should only describe general information about trends, about differences, or about the stages, all right? And the overview paragraph consists of 2 or 3 sentences, and you should dedicate around 3 up to 5 minutes writing this paragraph, All right, let's start writing our overview paragraph here. All right, so first take a look at this diagram. What are some important features of this diagram? In writing the overview paragraph for a diagram or a process, we can write the number of stages, right? So as you can see, there are 4 stages, right? And as you can see, we summarize the first and the last stage of this process, all right, without mentioning numbers or specific details. So in producing cement, there are 4 stages, all right? And then there is only one stage in which concrete is produced. So we can write about this. So it's one of the best ways in which we can write our overview paragraph for a process or also for a diagram, in which we can write about the number of stages. That is what I'm going actually to do here. So we can say, overall, most of the time, we start our overview paragraph with the word overall. Limestone and clay pass through 4 stages before they are turned into cement and bagged for use. This is my first sentence. And then let's talk about concrete. Producing concrete, however, is a simple one-step process wherein various substances are blended in a concrete mixer. That's it. This is a very good overview paragraph. I just mentioned the number of stages for cement production and also the number of stages for concrete production in which different substances are blended in what? In a concrete mixer. So no details here are mentioned and no numbers are given here, all right? It's just the number of stages. So this is a very good overview paragraph. Now let's start writing our first paragraph detail. All right, in paragraph 3, we write about cement production. All right, so let's take a look at the stages we have here. All right, so the first stage is that we need limestone and clay. All right, and as you can see, they are turned into powder with the use of crusher, all right? And then they pass through this mixer, all right, which is a kind of like a rotating cylinder. And after that, there is grinder, all right? And after that, it is heated, and then they're turned into cement, and they're bagged for shipment or for use. So let's just start step by step writing this process. Upon a detailed look, it is clear that producing cement first requires what? 2 basic substances are required here. First requires limestone and clay to be pulverized into powder. I use the word pulverized, into powder with the use of a crusher. Now, once it is turned into powder, I should write about the next stage. These substances then is a useful word here because I'm talking about the next stage. Then pass through a heated rotating cylinder, followed by a grinder, it means that the next stage is the grinder, which marks the end of the cement production process. This finished product is finally filled into bags for shipment and use. So this is a very good report, writing about the details of cement production. And now for my next paragraph, I'm going to write about concrete production. And I should also write about the amount of these 4 substances here. So 4 substances are mixed: cement, water, sand, and gravel. They're mixed in the concrete mixer and concrete is produced. All right? Now let's start writing about this paragraph. In comparison, producing concrete is a more straightforward process due to its simplicity and minimal requirement of equipment. But why do I write in comparison here? Because in my previous paragraph, I wrote about cement production, and the production of cement was a bit, let's say, had more details, right? And it had more stages. But here, concrete production is more straightforward and it's pretty easier, and it has less complexity, and it is more simple compared to the production of cement. Okay, now let's write about the requirements or the substances which are mixed here. This process requires a mixture of 4 substances in specific proportions. A composition of, or a mixture of, a composition of 50% gravel, 15% cement, 10% water, and 25% sand are all placed. So you see how I use passive tense here. In writing diagrams and also process, we should be aware of the use of passive tense here. Most of our sentences are written in passive tense, all right? So this is very important. Are all placed into a concrete mixer, which blends and transforms these substances into concrete. That's it. This is a very good and well-structured paragraph writing about, let's say, all the information here. And I've also used the passive tense. And I've also written about the proportions of each of these substances here. Okay, so you can see that this paragraph is a very well organized and well structured report. All right, that's it, guys. We worked on writing process unnumbered diagram and how we can use passive tenses here in writing a report, and how we can write about different stages in cement production and also one stage of concrete production here in this report. If you have any questions, you can simply ask in the comments and I will kindly answer all your questions. Until next time, enjoy your time, stay tuned, and bye-bye.